Guy and Kyle do not choose to let me tell our readership of this vision, my incredible vision. Indeed, they determined that not even my 3 or 5 inches is required. You should go home, Guy tells me. Go home and get some rest. But you saw it, I protest. You saw Princess D's submarine. A submarine on a trailer on the highway. Interesting, but hardly proof of the conclusion of time. But what about the river trip? Mark, we're doing a favor, Kyle says. We're your friends. We know what you're going through. I myself see a dental psychiatrist every Wednesday and brush with Mentine toothpaste every day. Me too, Guy says. My therapist says they should just pump fluoride 9 straight into the water supply. When I don't get it, I start to receive mind messages from the fourth hardness. Me too. After a few days, my brain's just riddled with CGODM. What are you talking about? Ask. CGODMs, Kyle says. Cubical Genetic Observation and Direction Machine. They're little cubes about 2 millimeters in diameter. They are extraterrestrial enhanced neural CPUs implanted into your brain by autonomous nanobots. Guy adds, they're driven by miniature positioning current that initiates the action side of sentient neural network with miniature communicators that reproduce mind procedures or engendering prototypes. I didn't realize you were part of the global airtime cabal too. 3 years now, I'm up to dark echelon clearance. How about you? No, I'm still new to the Society of Purple Sunset. Arg, the Society of the Purple Sunset is annoying on-beam role-playing, sort of a prison serpent's celebrity hike. The Sunsetters, as they like to call themselves, discuss the intricacies of their little fictional universe in ad nauseam, sometimes for hours. They even mentions where they dress up like their favorite game characters. Ever since Libby started playing, she selected for herself the role of High Priestess, of course. Doing the Sunset has become the latest stylish pursuit among the editors at the Register. Suddenly Kyle remembers I'm still here and looks my way. You see, Mark, the global airtime cabal got it all started in 1947. That's when they used the Corpus Christi project to launch the first Vision Sunday, a tiny pale sphere connected to a weather balloon. It is an extremely efficient converter of psychic energy into etheric matter, and the worst is FEM, fatal etheric matter, which threatens life at the 200 to 500 megahertz frequency. Brain management, the scientists prefer to call it, of disposition modification. But unadulterated brain management is really what these crazed ideologies are up to. Did they ever put you into the brain changing to a stool? Oh man, it was terrible. The pre-ecstasy condition was pleasant enough, but the program was unendurable. They've sent up a lot of poor kids down that subway. They simply burned up, and the wise ones watched it all on cathode ray tubes. Imagine it, a functioning time subway of death. I heard about this one guy. They put him in the stool and told him to think about Godzilla, and when the subway doors slid open, out stepped this sort of psych beast, the fiend of the unconscious. Yes, I heard everyone who was on beat at the time into a raging terror. The way I heard it, they immediately switched off the transducer, but not before the creature ate several people in pieces of computer hardware. You heard it exactly right. I saw it all. You were on beam that day? It happened just after I became a journeyman. When I came on beam, the time of pull was already bolted onto the 1942 test. It created a self-sustaining etheric tetrahedron, exactly as posited by Dr. Adolfo Mora in his famous time equation, and that's how the monster formed. They actually had the time shift back to the mothballed USS Ethan Allen Hitchcock, which was already flooded with FEM, switched off the main reactor. Other people thought they were too far on that one. So, you guys think you're being controlled by the secret government or something? I try to sound genuine, but Kyle and Guy are not. Apparently, they think they have entirely forgotten about me. For now, they look upon with pained expression, reeking condensation for the non-playing non-believer. Go home, Guy, depart. Drink some whiskey, pop some pills, do whatever you have to do. Kyle, nod. Get unconscious. Get unconscious. For me, that is no relaxed state. Journeyman through the land of the dead is exhausting work. Consider this dialogue between two famous meteors, a bit tainted cellular, that the stranger unveiled for me as part of a career retrospective in Mageddon Drive-In. Charlie, enough anal probing. Now let's try sci-fi Roman chariot race. Yeah, young idea. Yeah, the deity may communicate with man through ancient dream. Mark as the Christ. Interesting concept, but it goes bad so quick. Let's roll the clip. The husband popped his head out of the dark pantry and asked his wife, "Where's the bread?" "There is no bread," she replied. "We have no money bread." "But how can that be? Look around us. Wealth everywhere. A leather sofa, a swimming pool, Berber carpet everywhere. What have you done with the bread? You don't get enough money to allow me to live in this style to which I'd have to become accustomed. So how can you expect me to buy bread? I'll starve if you don't give me some bread." "Husbands do not live by bread alone," she said. Then she retrieved a knife from the cupboard and motioned for her to place his hand on a scarred wooden cutting board. "Are you crazy?" he asked. "It'll hurt." Crybaby. Shrugging, the husband relented in the cut, and she cut off his right hand. "Why, that didn't hurt at all," the husband said. "Like cutting your hair, or—" "That's because you are already dead," she explained, and handed him his severed hand with an orange fiesta platter. "Eat this." "That's cadaver," he said. "Yes, you should try the wine." The wife hoisted a small of red covertly retrieved stump of her husband's wrist, a rather disappointing rio with delusions of mystical revelation. "Now you've gone too far," the husband roared. "There's no call for religious persecution. Want to make me suffer, because it is only through suffering that we can find our redemption." Then she dug out a set of kebab skewers from the drawer into the pantry door. Breadcrumbs and wine spilling from the stigma from his over the husband's head, the wife tacked a recipe card upon which she'd written "King of the Losers, signed wife." She dotted the I and wife with a small-faced heart. Yes, it comes off somehow true, a touching vision, angels listening to the word, lost in warm globs of ectoplasm, the knowledge of that idea that the deity would say, "Well, let's think about this, a talking deity, not necessarily funny, such a film might not sell. Instead, perhaps we should consider banjos, plotting murder, enjoying sodomy, buttered DNA delivered inserted into naughty—" Now that's funny. Those were the desires of Mark in his youth. We know from the Stranger's movies that he always liked young girls' toes dipped in wet sexuality. The red diode flashes on the answering machine. I hit the play button. It is Jack. "What the fuck? Ha. I called your work. That old biddy grandma answered." She said, "Oh, Mark, he went home. He wasn't feeling—" I told her, "Yeah, 'cause he's on chocolate mysticism. Ha. She can suck my—" "Oh, sorry. What? That was really inappropriate. Just kidding. Not like this. You know that? You bring it out and you make me this way. My freshman in college, I was going to be a preacher. Oh, are you? 900-foot Jesus talking about being hung. Ha. Ah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Look, man. Get some rest, get yourself straight, then call me. Tonight we'll let the sleek dog run." Next, a transmission from the superego. "Mark, this is your mother. I just wanted to see if you want to come over dinner tonight with Allison and the boys. You probably don't feel like fixing something yourself. You can't eat pizza every night, you know. I've laid a roast out to thaw, but your father and I can't eat it all by ourselves. You can bring your clothes over and spend the night, or you can stay the whole time they're gone. It'll be like a slumber party, so I'll talk to you later." The other two messages are from Allison. For my convenience, she left the phone number for the beach house on a pad next to the phone. "Where have you been?" she asks. "I've been calling since last night. I went out with Jack." I lied. "Figures. Did you get any sleep?" "Not till this afternoon. I had to go into work to cover the clock story." "Could you see it there?" "Of course not. I'm here with my parents. I want to tell her an incredible revelation about everything that had been before. But I hear a commotion in the background. One of our sons demands scream. "I told you it's—" "Too late for that," Allison says. "Go to bed now." "What's happening?" "It's my family. They keep doing great things for the boys, everything they want, but I'm the one who has to be the bad guy. I have to make them go to bed. I'm one who has to be bad one after everyone spoils them." She lays down the phone. I hear footsteps and cry. "I told you to go to bed," she says. "I'm so sick of this. Why can't anyone help me out here?" I wait a moment and she returns to the phone. "I've got to go. Call me," she says. "Call me later." "Okay, I'll call you in the morning." But she doesn't hear me. "Go to bed," and the line's dead. No sign of the deity in that apocalypse. Perhaps my trouble is that I don't pray anymore. It isn't that I don't believe in the deity. Rather, it's just that praying to him seems relevant to why I have constructed a possible answer by paraphrasing Kerpers. The central query is not does death and resurrection remain germane, but this is the sentient being experiencing a stormy reorganization of its awareness, which does not currently permit it to size understanding of the death and resurrection. Pretty. But what is the nature of this reorganization? The answer comes, the form voice of Dyer from the kitchen. "Don't answer it. It's him. Call the police." This is Alice's voice, but it can't be her. She is still in Maine. Then, through the front door, I see a figure silhouetted in the oval of etched glass. I know this person. I know him all too well. The stranger has arrived. Here's one way the world ends. Inside my house at night, Allison runs off, threatening a stranger who's visited recently returned. "You must beware," she says. There is a knock at the door. "Don't answer it," she says. "It's him. Call the police." I go to the door, look out the window, but there is no danger, just an old in a thick cable knit cardigan sweater, cleaning a red potato. The man is stoop-shouldered and white hair. Let him in. We talk a bit. I don't remember about what, but it soon dawns on he is. Did my wife know his identity? Yes. He had visited once before, but I was not home. So this old man is the threatening stranger. Why does she fear him? How did you come to be in this peculiar peculiar situation? I ask him. How did it happen? Turns out there was some sort of cord action and mental emotional breakdown. He had held in his emotions too long, trying to look normal at home and at work. But now, future version of me has lost everything. He has no one, only a job. Still, I sense the people might be able to like him. At least I like him. The man says he's going to leave town. He has to get back to his job. My wife is ecstatic, but I don't want him to. No, you can't leave. We were meant to be together. We are. The man's boss shows up, wanting him back at work in the restaurant kitchen. He wants him to fix those potatoes. No, we quit, I say. The old man can't believe I just quit on his behalf. What can we do? To get a decent job, we need a doctorate. I know he is just feeling a little bit pessimistic. So I say, okay, so we'll get a doctorate together. Again, I tell the boss that he is quitting. He fills out a form, presumed for the old man's final paycheck. All the while, he keeps one on us. I am very excited about his development. We are going to get the world's first two-bodied man. We are going to be the first two-bodied, the world's first. I tell my older half. But what about women, he asks. We'll never get one. I look at this gentleman, smile. You kidding? They're going to love us. They hate us. Hurry in. They're right on my heels. The stranger bolts past me, through the den toward the kitchen, flipping off lights as he goes, plunging the house into protective anonymity of night. So they can't see us, he explained. I stand bewildered in the doorway, looking out toward the street where he's parked his car, a red hot rod, the Beach Boys' little deuce coupe, and something else. The street light is out, a first for our elderly functioning neighborhood, but there is enough of moon that I can see it gliding slowly past like a giant bat. It is the pursuer, the black sedan, the dreamed car of death. For goodness sake, shut the door, he hisses. They have night vision scope. I've seen that car before, I say. Of course you've seen it before. It's registered to Ozona International, part of their Black Ops street theater troupe, the Guerrilla Drive-In movie. Can you please shut the door? They've been blocking me for weeks, he continues as I walk or drive about. The street theater troupe? The perps, the disinfo agents. These incidents have been increasing dramatically every day. Either someone slipping ahead at the ATM or the supermarket checkout, or parking unanticipated places in the parking lot. He fills a green glass with chilled water from the lighted recess in the refrigerator door, hand encased in a glow, very Hitchcock-esque. It's not normal interactions, he explains. I'm talking about incidents that occur far more often than would attribute to mere chance. Imagine it, cars speeding up to stop signs just ahead of you, then braking partway into the intersection, and meanwhile find other cars cooperating in a theatrical way, blocking your progress, particularly in shopping malls. That's their favorite place. Oh yes, they're definitely. He goes back to the front door and cautiously stares out the oval at mind control. He continues, I'm their unwilling test subjects. It started in 1950s with MK Ultra, the CIA's behavior modification program that was understandably limited in scope. But now they're using on-beam amps, taking worldwide. Random individuals are secretly chosen for covert behavior, thought, and perception control via on-beam avenues and other advanced technology. I don't know what you're talking about. They're mostly unto the average scientist who isn't part of a New World Order mind control conspiracy. These technologies can't be repeated, prevented, or even revealed using current market technology. On-beam systems have been infiltrated with covert backdoor access points where the Black Ops agents use fluoride-9 to gain entrance to the brain's unconscious processing centers. Those of us who are victims of this mind control have found out our attempts to fight the conspiracy regularly thwarted by technology that can penetrate EM acoustic shielding, move objects at a distance, pull legs out from under people at a distance, propel them car sideways, make objects disappear and reappear in a location, apply enough force to a building that it will napping noise, especially at night as you are just falling asleep, and make people burp or pass gas when they least expect it, usually in public places around a lot of people, cause consumer appliances to fail shortly after the expiration of the warranty, and give people sunburns on cloud. Well, the sunburns, not so strange. That's happened to me plenty of times, and the rest could be coincidences. He stares at me with brimstone in his eye. This isn't about normal events. Okay, it's like when you see a natural paranormal effect, but it happens in circumstances in which the effect can only be explained as possessing a deliberate of precise causal intent. I've seen full levitation possible utilizing anti-gravity propulsion devices discovered in UFO studied in Area 51. I mean, that much real. You've seen it in the sky, the clock, the end of time, right? But it's the on-beam control that's most difficult to fight. Psychotronic manipulation, silent sound, sub-vocalized, direct skull transmit, neuromagnetic rumination, all variations on a theme utilize induction pain, creating artificial mental disorders, and they do it in a way that to a disinterested party, it appears that the victim imagining thing. It's all part of the design to harass mental subject. But why you? Why do you think they want to experiment on you? They want my dreams, of course, our dreams. They want the Nova effect. What's that? It's part of the massive conspiracy by the secret government to scramble the text at sea into a swirl of chaos, which they can employ flesh-coated change to manipulate the people on Earth as well as a couple of humanoid planet. When they take the Nova effect live, they'll be able to hook us up to the DNA phone call anytime. It's their purpose. Your time will come, and when it does, try explain it to people you know and see how many believe it is intentional. Oh, listen to that. Go on. They'll say he has lots to say and yet no answers to our questions, at least no satisfying rational answers. It soon becomes clear to them that you don't have any clue as to why you are here. You claim no insight the true nature of the strange happenings afoot in the waking world. Clearly there is no point in questioning about a world event. That's what you were thinking. I didn't say that. Could not be the two-bodied man of the vision. They create nocturnal imaginations that are friend of the dead. And that's when he spots the cameraman. Cut. The stranger flips on the kitchen light and opens the back door, beckoning to the light. The camera's got a 3,000 to 1 nemoscopic zoom. Yet you still find it necessary to invade the cinematic reality zone or to get the shot. Is that a half-dozen crew members slowly from the shadows trail thick lights, reflective panel, and microphone on the end of the long pole. They gather in the kitchen as the camera maps and fiddle with a black rubber lens hood. Depth of field was all wrong, he explained. He was going two-dimensional. The stranger nodded sympathetically. It's understandable. Cinematic technique can't be expected to always keep up with the full depth of visionary transform. You're making a movie about me? Not you, us, the two-bodied man. Working title, Strange Rest. Stranger retrieves small radio from his pocket. He extends the antenna and puts it to the speaker. Okay, everybody, it's a wrap. Nice work. Go back to the church. Get some sleep. Meet in the sanctuary. 604 rushes. The stranger doesn't look much like the old man in my... No cardigan sweater, no red potato. He's not soup-shouldered, white hair. The stranger has arrived in my wake on the red flight of cool terrain, burial chamber, California. Looking young and hip in Spanish wrap-around sunglasses and 50s Hawaiian shirt with a vaguely obscene hula dancer print. He clearly hasn't been peeling potatoes or doing any other restaurant either. His nails are freshly cured, quite the contrast to my old rag cuticle and split nails. When did I start letting myself like this? His head is closely shaved, and I cannot ascertain if he is balding or going grey. Interesting, this uncertainty actually makes him look young and vibrant, younger than me. Even his face is more youthful than mine, more robust than tan. It is as if I am the strange, and the stranger is me. You told your editors of your incredible revelation, he asked. They didn't even a 3-inch feed. It is because you are among the comatose ones. By tomorrow the clock can just be another weather phenomenon, entertaining but not me. So I should just drop it? Not at all. Just a strange habit, of course, is your destiny, my destiny, and you must also accompany Jack on your journey tonight. A journey in the threshold into the unknown. We've got to get this show on the road. We'll have a great talk, I'm sure. Yes, but don't bother with newsprint. Using any nerve to make witnesses to announce the appearance of the clock in the jewel room as a prophetic call to overcome the falsity of the contemporary in a flood into the waking world, as a declaration that the deity is now prompt to incarnate not just in one but all mankind. Well, that is like unveiling a new wagon wheel design at the Horse and Buggy Convention of 1910. I attempt to lay defense of the Register. It's a pretty good paper. Quality is not the issue. People simply do not believe what they read in the newspaper. I hope that's not true. It's how I'm living. I make a living. It's my career. You need a new career, and you'll get one soon enough. You'll have no choice. Contemplate the fundamental strangeness of the aerial clock. We should not imagine customary logical technique clarification will be at all sufficient. The visual rumors first come into view in outer space, so that one and all shall observe them. They strike a chord, causing us to recall our individual spirit and our individual totality. Because people don't believe what they read in newspapers anymore. Exactly, but they do believe what they see at the movies. That is a visually stunning film featuring some of the beautiful celluloid. Technically speaking, let's talk about how these resolve. My experiences are quite similar to those described by Brian De Palma, an interview he gave for his cinematic masterpiece. Make no mistake, Island Risne, Hiroshima Namur, and last year Marienbad are favorite films of all time, but in many ways De Palma was my true inspiration. Marienbad, especially the two-bodied protagonist concept. Besides, believe not, filmed it all in just 6 weeks, and we didn't go all California either. It was broadcast quality personnel, GOTWN, General Organization of Transmission Workers and Machinists team. In no way do they resemble a burial chamber team, but they labor intensely and cheap, and the deity understands their sincere equipment. A Misty MD with Pan Dream Abuela 9000 for the Super Dream 16 Exogrant and 2 minutes for a few of the time trip. The movie was filmed on site. There's Rest, downtown Fort Worth, North Richland Hills, North Dallas, and Fort Jessup. LA, except for the material and the aerial clock set. Our firing relation is very tight. The ratio 9.2 to 1. We had very little waste because each and thoroughly plotted. What did you do to get all that light? Again, I must credit De Palma. His work in Sisters inspired me to create a film that is exceptionally prudently in a truthfully traditional fashion, and it required plenty of time, which is most strange in a B movie, but that is the real. So on you, the cinematographer, occasion required up to one to illuminate those close-ups, which is particularly uncommon in a B movie. It formed a considerable dissimilarity to the waking world, and it made the primal goddess look good. That is quite noteworthy, because the archetypal B movie typically employs recoil lighting, gets it in place as quickly as reasonable, and then progresses to the subsequent scene. But recoiled light, genuine settings, and traveling quickly for another kind of area in a film like this, and it's not necessary in something, say, the celestial marketplace of benign ideas. The critical element in films to capture the real of the locations of the characters and how, like Sisters, the movie Xera is an ambient film. We expected much effort to construction to generate an ambient. We built a distinctively customized missile silo. I understand you did a lot of handheld Super 16 yourself. Like De Palma, I've come to appreciate grand images, provided can employ them correctly. They create a tremendous sense of the inner world in relation to the literal images of the 35 minutes. However, one must place grand footage in the core locations so that the resulting product doesn't resemble a tasteless exploitation flick. You've called Next Year at Marienbad an experiment understanding incredible revolution. What do you mean by that? In Next Year at Marienbad, I was attempting to labor in an adulterated picture at design, accomplishing the whole thing with dramatic imagery and determining the way all the bits of celluloid would be meshed, then scripting narrative and compel it to actually from the incredible revelation nocturnal vision. I am filming exactly and assembling exactly, realizing that in fact succeeds exactly. Movie making is a wonderful art form. There is no more wonderful way to capture an inner religious vision and bring it to life in the outer world than through film. What I mean by the phrase dream the apocalypse. Question 1. Do you like the stories far? Yes? No? 2. Does Mark Leach resemble John of Patmos in Revelation? Yes? No? 3. In the further development of the story, would you like more wrath of God or less wrath of God? 4. Is there too much eruption of the unconscious in the narration? Not enough eruption of the unconscious? 5. Do you feel that the exploration of new mental disorders is a viable undertaking for the novelists of today? Yes? No? 6. Has it worked for you metaphysical dimension? Yes? No? 7. What is it? 25 words or less. 8. Have you understood in reading to this point that the stranger is attempting to create a movie based on Last Year at Marienbad in the same way that Don Barthel created a novel based on the story Snow White? Yes? No? That this questionnaire is based on a list of questions in Donald Bartholomew novel based on the story Snow White? Yes? No? That March is a fictional version of the author? Yes? No? That the stranger is both the author and the Christ figure in the story? Yes? No? 12. Do you believe the author thinks he is God? Yes? No? 13. Would you like the world to end? Yes? No? If yes, when?